Well, welcome back to the state of Splinterlands. I'm about a week late as where I would normally like to be, but hopefully you guys will forgive me. And like normal, I just want to kind of go through some of the things that I'm seeing. As per usual, the state of Splinterlands is strong. I got a couple things that I'm not super happy with that I'm looking at, but in general, this thing is pretty amazing. So first off, I'm just on the market screen. So volume today is a little light. It's at 1,678. I'm used to seeing that a little bit higher. So maybe today's an off day. I'm not ready to say this is a trend, but we've been up in the $4,000 or $5,000 range roughly all of last week. So there's some funky things that are going on. I think as the markets are getting choppy and the halvening is approaching, we're seeing some chop in terms of like how much the volume is happening. I'm not quite certain of all the different factors going into this because there's a lot, but as of right now, the volume's a little bit down. Nothing that I'm worried about yet, but that's just something that I'm keeping an eye on. There are a ton of sales happening. 5,407. That's very active. Prices are looking healthy. I've been watching the summoners for a while. So Prince Ren is roughly where he's been. That looks okay. Spirit of the Forest Alpha. Look at that, kind of coming in on the highest priced. Standard foiled card here. Selenia Sky trading up at 22. That's a little low. I've seen her up around like $35 or something at times. So this is a little bit low. Your Play-Dohs and your Cryptmancers. I bought a whole bunch of these at $12. So when I'm looking at prices, I'm mostly looking, are they above 12? So that's my break-even point. But it's also the point where I'm like, these things go under $12. I'm going to go buy a lot more of them. All right, so the Gold Dragon, nice to see that card looking strong here. Another Alpha Legendary up in the mix. Elemental Phoenix. Have our first rare that's kind of up there. The Hydra's looking good. I bought a whole bunch of these at $5, so I'm super happy to see Selenia up at 12.89. So there's another popular card. I am a little floored to go see. Look, the Beta Elemental Phoenix trading at 10.49. That's actually really strong. Spirit of the Forest, $10. Lord of Darkness at 8.26. I mean, those are good numbers. And then this is kind of crazy to me. This Fire Demon. So like the Royal Dragon Archer being up here isn't too surprising. That's a promo card. It's an alpha, and there's only 201 of them in print. So that's not all that surprising. But this is an alpha. This is a Fire Demon. I bought like a million of these at $1, and now they're trading up closer to 10. But that's more significant because there's 1,690 of them, and yet they're trading quite strongly up here. Same, we're seeing the Lord of Darkness, and frankly, I think some of the rule set change to allow some higher level matches helped these higher level cards. So these things are doing pretty well. Even your Angel of Lights up here at the $6 range. Ruler of the Seas, that's now out of print, so not surprised at all to go see Ruler of the Seas creeping up there. And just all the way around. Look, this Alpha Ulrich Summoner, 455. How many of you were like complaining that you couldn't get? I'm not going to spend 40 cents on that. Well, who do you think I am? I'm not made of money. I'm not spending 40 cents. Now it's up at $4.50. Just outrageous. I bought a whole bunch of these lightning dragons when the rule change happened. I waited till the rule change happened, then I bought a whole bunch of these at $2. Now they're trading up at 4.43. Lightning Dragon's a great card, and it's just trading it. In the lower mana cap matches, you can't use it. But when you have like 800 mana that you can go spend, why not go toss a Lightning Dragon in there? So I like to see that. I kind of, this Vigilator's been up at like $12, and now she's trading at. I think if this is her, so now she's trading at 376. That seems like a steal, but who knows? Don't know where the prices are going to go. I'm just kind of noting some of these, but it's kind of fun to watch these bounce around in price. I mean, you can. I understand how people just sit around and make trades, and then make money through trading. So, and then we're also seeing your beta epics are coming in over $2 now. So, I don't know who was buying those underneath $2, but congratulations, you guys are in the black. So, Overall, just a lot of exciting things here. This might be the highest priced rare monster. This is not surprising at all. Haunted Spirit is just a great card, but now it's trading up close to $2. Oh, that's an alpha. All right, but even with an alpha, like a rare at $2, that's pretty swell. Um, so there's lots of good things that are happening. You can see it's a mix of all of these card types, the alphas, the betas, some promos, and the untamed are kind of all mashed into this. There's not, what Matt and I wanted when we were designing these cards is that we really wanted it to be a fair spectrum. And to me, that's exactly what we're seeing here. We're seeing that there's no one set is dominating the most priced standard foil section. Like it's kind of a mix of all of these promo cards, alpha cards. Here's an alpha rare, but you have your beta legendary monsters, beta legendary summoners, alpha summoners, these kind of mystery potion cards. Like it's literally all over the place, and that to me is healthy. That means that we did our job of making all of these cards appealing. So that's kind of what I wanted to show for the market. The battle, we are 8 days away. So normally I try to do this a day or two after, but now for this one, it's about a week after the season end. So we're gonna go see some things that come with that. I wanted to go talk news for a second. So here's game updates. So tournaments are getting some changes. This is the start of changes. This mobile app thing has just been a monster, and it's the longer that we keep waiting. And I have good news. I think that we're going to be ready to launch at the end of, I don't know, right around the end of the month, maybe at the very beginning of next month. But we're super close to getting a system out. The game won't be 100% complete. It is still a launch, and even though we spent a lot of time on this, like the challenge. One of the things that I noticed with my children is that when things take a long time, they then take longer. So like, I have 3 kids. So like at some point where, you finally spend all this time getting one of them ready to get out the door, the next one then says, I have to go to the bathroom. So because you spent like the extra 15 minutes doing something with one kid, you have added this time element, and now some other problem occurs. Part of the challenge of the mobile app having taken a long time is that there have been game changes along the way that also impact the mobile, and we had to start redesigning things. So just because we're taking time, it's adding time, and that's really frustrating. And what that's done is it's backed off how many changes we can make to tournament systems and all the other like small features or awesome features of the game. Just everything gets delayed. So we're starting to see we're getting some light at the end of the tunnel, nearly there for the alpha release of the mobile. And now we have a little bit more time to kind of get into other things like tournaments, which is really going to be the next major overhaul that we're doing. So it's just starting with little stuff. We're going to try a 10 dark energy crystal fee. And I know that we said, hey, look, we're going to make this thing free forever, but there were problems. We have this weird relationship with bots that we don't want to do CAPTCHA because we really enjoy the spirit of crypto, and I don't want to force like KYC. I'm not going to go accept like give me your driver's license to play the game. Things like that are just freaking crazy. CAPTCHA's not the end of the world, but it just doesn't really fit our ethos. So we did this thing for free for a long time, and it's been pretty good. But one of the things that we've seen is that there's just way too many bots. And there are bots that I don't mind, and there are bots that I do mind. The bots that actually field teams and play, like, that's pretty okay to me. I still think normal players will do better because you can outthink bots. But the ones that I don't like are the ones that have like literally 5 cards in them, and they're just here in the tournaments. They sign up, they are forced to flee. It makes the tournaments go like 20 minutes longer. And it's not fun. It's not fun to beat some bot that doesn't really have the cards, and that's a bad experience. So, and part of tightening up these tournaments, we're adding a 10 dark energy crystal fee. The novice one will likely be different, but for the rest of them, we're thinking 10 And it's not meant to be like, first off, we're burning it. So we're not even like collecting this. We're not storing it. It's just getting burned. Um, so it's not, this isn't like a money grab or something. And again, it's not even fighting, it's not even really meant to fight bots. It's meant to fight exploits. The exploit where somebody with 5 cards is participating in a tournament and just trying to place. We're going to add some small opportunity cost to that and see if that's enough to just stop that behavior, at least in tournaments. So I'm not like, people think we're totally anti-bot or we have kind of mixed messages on bots. Like, frankly, I'm sort of okay with bots. They do serve a purpose, but I don't like exploits. And this is meant to go against a very narrow subsection of bots that are currently exploiting the system, and that needs to stop. And it's not meant to be some like big reversal. What I'm trying to do is preserve value for the players. And if 10% or 20% of tournament rewards are going to these kind of like exploitative bots, like, we have to stop that. That money should be going to players. Players should be making that money, not people that run bots with 5 cards that, again, it's good to be efficient. If you can figure out an efficient system, that should win. But this doesn't feel efficient. This feels like an exploit. And so we're trying some things to stop it. And again, just look, we will continue to monitor this and adjust as necessary. So we'll see if this works. If it doesn't work, then we can try something different. But we want more money going to actual players, not to leech bots. So that's what we're working on. So along with that, the system will no longer allow accounts to enter alpha and gold only tournaments if it doesn't have the minimum amount of alpha or gold foil cards to play. So you're going to need at least 6 alpha or 6 gold monsters to go play, and a gold summoner or an alpha summoner. And if you don't have that, you won't be able to go play in the tournament. And it's always been like that through the site, but now it's going to be like that through the back end, so that the bots that don't use the site, we can make sure that they have to follow the same rules as everybody else. And that should make the tournaments at least a round shorter, which will be nice. And then, it's, again, just meant to go stop the players or the bots that are leeching. Now, this has been a request for a while, and it's not like we've ignored this request. It's like, okay, we're going to do that. We just need to get to a spot where we can do that. But the players who receive a bye in the first qualifier round of tournaments are now going to be selected randomly rather than when they entered. So we tried it that way for a while. We're going to go try it this way for a while, and we'll see what people say. And so it's like an experiment. This is not like, here is this clay tablet we have brought from the mountain, and this is how it shall be. It's like, no, here's an experiment. We did the experiment that way. We liked some of the results. Some other things could be better, so we're going to go try this one. So lastly, it's now going to be possible to enter tournaments with a deck entry fee using the posting authority for accounts. And that's really just for the renters. So like, we didn't want renters to stop being able to play. You still can't just like randomly transfer dark energy crystals, but now you can use it for this one use case of signing up. So that should be pretty good. Some potions backends, a minor bug fix to the gelatinous cube. So that's getting fixed. Next up, I just wanted to talk about a steal of a lifetime. So this post just went, it's literally a few seconds ago, so I'm including this here. But so the Selenia Sky is now being auctioned. We purchased 3 of these cards, and I think they were between $700 and $900 each. So let's call that $860. So this is a $2,400 card that's sitting on that market, and it's currently selling for around $200. So if you would like to get an arbitrage of $2,000, you should probably put a bid into this. The other thing to note is that on the market, let's go find, let's not guess at this. Let's go actually look. So here's the market. Here's an alpha. Here's a gold foil. Here's a summoner. And here's the legendary. 7,000. The 7,000 is 1, then 10,000, then 10,000. So right now on the market, and that's because there's just not a lot of these. There's 29 that exist. That's it. So if you would like a shot at getting the next gold foil Alpha Selenia Sky, you can get it for the bargain basement price of $27,000 off the market. So my point here is that this is actually what I think who knows? Who knows? Is it a good deal? Is it a bad deal? I don't know. All I can tell you is right now We bought it for roughly 2,400 bucks. There's currently $200 worth of bids, and if anybody wants to go buy cards off the market to go get to the next one, it will cost you $27,000 as shown on the market. Maybe you can make some backroom deals, but I'm just saying what the market prices will be. All right, so another thing that we're doing is the dark energy crystals and Tron Trading is now live. You can go do this on trontrade.io. Now, I'm not much of a Tron user, so I'm probably not the guy to go demonstrate this, but you're opening an external link. So here is Tron Trade. Tron Trade is actually a pretty nice trade. This is what we were looking at for Steam Engine to start listing this thing, but or as we were kind of making the decks over on Steam Engine, we were looking at Tron Trade as like, oh, that's kind of a pretty one. Let's look at that. But here you go. Tron Trade's a pretty nice exchange, and here is the chart, and you can see it just started because it literally started this morning. So hopefully all the Tron guys that are part of the community will go dive into that. All right, next up. You can go purchase dark energy crystals directly with SimpleSwap. So maybe I should go visit SimpleSwap too. They don't have a so inside of this. So if I go click this green plus button, it now brings me to the buy dark energy crystal screen, and now it has Steam, Tron, Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ether, and Qcoin. So I can use any of these to go purchase dark energy crystals. And what it does is it goes to the Steam Engine market. So let's go type in Steam Engine. So we can go to Steam Engine here. It'll go to tokens, and then it can go to the dark energy crystals. So right now, I don't know what you guys are doing, but it's trading at 0.00068. I have a guess as to why it's trading low. I think my guess is that the markets are choppy enough that people are thinking there's going to be a spike in prices of like altcoins and Bitcoin and the halvening, and they're having less of a stable coin and more of a high risk coin trying to go catch the climb. That is my guess. Is that accurate? I have no idea. That's just my speculation. Not financial advice, not anything. It's just me kind of poking around at this. So that's what I think it is. And it's also some of the bot sell off. So like again, when we looked at like how much money is going to these leech bots, the players and actual people take that dark energy crystal and they buy potions and they buy skins and they buy cards and they buy packs. The bots just dump it on the market. So maybe some of this is because bots are dumping, and I don't just mean all bots. Some of the bots actually improve over time. I mean specifically the leech bots that have like 4 cards and just siphon off some of the reward system. So hopefully over time, if we can reduce the number of leech bots, or at least make it more expensive for them, or add some kind of risk proposition to what they're doing, and they're not dumping quite so hard on the market, then suddenly this thing will have more ability to recover. But that's kind of the small side of things. Like, you can't spend 5%, or like, we're not going to spend 100% of our life fighting this small problem. Like, it's really, in the grand scheme of things, it's not that big of a problem. What is the biggest problem is user acquisition. So that's what we got to focus on. And honestly, things are going pretty damn well in that regard. So this is a number of battles played. Battles played isn't our favorite because, there are bots. So sometimes if you turn on or off bot armies, this thing will be dominated by bots. But, there's a ton of people that play here too. It's one number. It's one number to keep in mind. And it is worth noting that at the season end, we hit the all-time high. And I mean the all-time high. For all time played, we are at a new all-time high for the number of games in a single day, and that was right at 66,000 games played in a day. All right, the next one. This is the one that I'm acting like. This is what I freak out about. This is my number one chart. So you can see we started and we had a system, but prices were decaying and we didn't have tons of new stuff coming out. Because we were working on all kinds of things, and it just took forever, and we had this slow decay, and then boom, like you get your dark energy crystals, tournaments start coming, and now we get a lot more players joining. So from May of last year, the all-time high was 2292 until just now, we're at 4,744. We've more than doubled. We've more than doubled the number of accounts that are transacting with us, and that's in less than a year, right? It's January. This thing was in May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January. So in 9 months, in 3/4 of a year, we have doubled the number of accounts. Now, accounts isn't a great measure because people just spam extra accounts. So what we really want is unique users. But it's climbing. It's not climbing quite as fast as we'd like, but the mobile app is again supposed to come out in a week. I don't know, like 7 to 14 days roughly. That's our current expectation. Don't hold me to that. We've had delays before. We might have delays again, but that's what we're currently at. So I think that mobile app is going to be a big push. We have the AMC thing that happens on the 27th at 7 a.m. On the AMC on their Newswatch TV show. So that's like a nationally syndicated thing. And then there's this whole social media campaign that goes with it. So lots going on there. And then when the mobile app is out, then we can start making friends with mobile app wallets or mobile wallets and getting our mobile app sort of distributed to other hardware wallets and phone wallets. And there's a lot of new opportunities that come when you actually have a mobile app. And then I have some other things God, I'm trying to get this out here. I have like a brand ambassador program we're going to go roll out. So there's a lot that we're going to do that's focused on getting more active users, because ultimately, like, to me, it all boils down to how many people are playing and how many people are in the ecosystem. The more people that play, the more people that are in the ecosystem, the stronger that we're going to do. So, but to me, actually, things look really good. The one thing that's making me kind of stoked here is, so you could kind of do like a best fit line, and it would go kind of this downward sloping here. And then you can do a best fit line, and it's kind of this upward sloping here. And then these last three purple points, they're not at the same angle that these other ones are. I think that there's something happening where there's enough of our momentum that's coming that we're actually starting a faster player acquisition time. So the slope of this line, this is over 6 weeks, we're seeing a faster and faster growth than we have previously. That's great. So maybe if it took us 9 months to double before, maybe it's only going to take us 6 months to double. So lots of good things happening here. Happy to go see this. New partnerships, new groups, new products. Like things are happening, and we're seeing this push up. So I'm excited for that. And yeah, that was the all-time high. 4,744 accounts interacting in the same day. Boom. All right. So now inactive accounts, don't care. Tournaments, neat, but I don't like that graph. Packs purchased. So we're seeing kind of fewer packs purchased. The market volume is a little tighter, and so there's some things that are going on here. And again, I don't think it's Splinterlands related so much as I think it's like overall market conditions, of which we're a small portion of them. So quest finished ratio, that's actually looking pretty good. It just means that we're seeing a lot of the accounts finish the quests, and that's kind of another measurement of active players. Cards combined, this is great. 8,000 rewards cards combined here. It was 9,000 previously. We're seeing a whole bunch of these untamed cards still getting combined. That's all good. Is that what I want to talk about here? And then lastly, the cards burned. Let's go get rid of the reward cards burned. And now what are we seeing here? We're seeing beta, that's more than 100 packs of beta burn, some golds. We had some spikes, right? So 164 gold cards were burned. So on the day that the alphas burned, so those aren't normal numbers, right? Gold 43, 30 to 60 is sort of what I'd expect. And then if I look at, I don't even see alpha in here. Alpha is like 3. But then the price spiked, and then suddenly gold burned is 164, and somewhere in here is the alpha. Let me get rid of the betas too, and then maybe we can see some more. But so untamed, that's just kind of normal. Promo burn so your gold burned is 315, and alpha is 288. So what I again, I don't know this for certain because I don't have all the data, but the price spiked, and then there's an arbitrage between burning the alphas and burning the gold foils for deck, and then bringing those to the market, and so that's what I think happened there. So kind of neat to see how increased steam prices will lead to increased burning. So that's just fascinating to look at. Again, it's not enough data points where I'm like, this is what happens, but that's it's something that I'm keeping an eye on because a 288 alpha burn is actually pretty abnormal because like normally alpha burn 0, 3, 9, it's low enough that there's stuff is in the noise, and then suddenly price spikes and all these other things are getting burned. And you can see alpha burn, promo burn, and usually maybe there's one dude that comes in here on these random days and is like, all right, I'm gonna go burn some cards. But like, your average day is 168 or something, and then it literally 10x's in a day. That's lots of people or lots of accounts saying, okay, we can take advantage of this. So fascinating to see how price spikes lead to card burns. I'm not sure that I would have necessarily immediately thought that, but that's fascinating. Okay, so now the market volume here was a lot weaker. So it's not weak. I mean, this is here's our all-time high, and we still have 10 days to go. So we still have half again to go. So that'll put us at 450, and that is that'll put us at the second highest month of all time. So like that's really not that bad. I'd love to go see this kind of behavior continue or extend, but there's just slightly less market activity this month than there was last month. Maybe some of our whales have gotten more of the untamed cards, or they're more balanced where they want to be, and there's a little bit less trading. Or again, it's just the market chop. I keep talking about this chop. Let's go look at the Bitcoin price. Bitcoin has been going. It's down, but it's also it's a little bit sideways. But it's also been going up and down this whole time. So it's getting kind of choppy. The technical analysts are talking about this being a breakout. So maybe we're going to start seeing the opposing trend. The halvening happens here. So, it's January, end of January. So we kind of have February, March, April. We have about 3.5 months left before the halvening. So I think the market stuff is caught up into a much larger market issue. It's not just what's happening on Splinterlands, it's what's happening everywhere. And another major one I think is Steam. So Steam has been in this kind of crappy price range. So we've really been in like the under 16 cent range since almost going back to August of 19. So August 9, August, September, October, November, December, and then January. So we've been kind of in these crappy price ranges for almost 5 months. And just now, it's starting to look like we're breaking out of that some. And so we have the Splinterlands market, but the Splinterlands market, I think, is really to be considered part of the altcoin market, and the altcoin market is really about cycles within the Bitcoin market. And so all these things are kind of playing in. So when I see like a little dip in the volume, and then also a dip in the prices. So here's the price chart. This is our all-time high, at least by the Discord counting. I'll show the peak monsters counting in just a little bit here. But so here's the all-time high. We were up at about 4.6 million. And again, that's just the cards. If you start including like the pack sales have done really freaking good. I should probably go show those in a second too. So this has been a little down. This is a small correction, but honestly, we were down here at 1 million, and then we went up to 4.7 million. And we did that in about 6 months. Maybe there should be corrections in there. I mean, it's not the end of the world. I'm bummed because my personal collection. So I track this with where's my peak monsters? Oh, here's peak monsters. So the number that I really track the most for my personal collection is this. This is a Smalp account. This is what I'm leasing cards with, and this is currently worth that. And so It's down from 118, so it has certainly lost some value. And I've bought some cards, so it's probably down about 20K from the all-time high. So that's disappointing. But that number is also significantly higher than what I put in, and like significantly higher than what I put in. So that's still exciting. I mean, I think this is just part of market flows. And that at some point the card market will look really attractive. People will buy cards, those prices will go up, and then it won't look so attractive, and then buying packs will look attractive, and it's kind of this cycle. But that cycle again lives in this bigger cycle of what's happening with the price of Steam, and an even bigger cycle of what's happening with the price of Bitcoin. And frankly, that's in a bigger cycle of what's happening with the price of like US dollars and fiat currencies and gold. And like we're just a small cog in a giant wheel, and there's other forces that are much stronger than us. All right, so I showed this deck market, but I guess I also want to go show alphas. Alphas were killing it. Oh, come on. Let's go load this. Here's my tokens. Site has been a little slow. Man, I'm going to have to yell at beggars. All right, well, I'll come back to this in a moment, I guess. But all right, so the alphas have been killing it. The betas have been killing it. So those are good things. Where else did I want to go? Oh, the other number that I wanted to show here, this is my collection. Let's just go into the market, and then we're going to go kill this untamed button. And then we'll see that the card market as tracked by Peak Monsters is showing 4.8 million. So we're pretty close to crossing that 5 million threshold. Who knows when that's going to happen, but that's pretty exciting to me. Again, that's just a card market cap by like overall market cap when you include the alphas, the betas, untamed that we've sold, but the players are holding on to. We're well over 5 million now. Oh, this is making me angry. Oh, there it was. There we go. All right, so now let's go find alphas. Alphas. Alpha. So alphas are trading at $14.53. And there was a good spike in volume. There was like a $2,000 day with that. So that wasn't just a teeny tiny thing. And then let's go try beta. Beta is trading at $3.33. We were selling those at $2, and then you get discounts, and the discounts would bring it down to like 165. So the people that have been hodling their betas are potentially up 2x right now. And that's not nothing, that's $400 to $500. Like there's some decent volume there. Betas, and then Untamed. I saw there were some really good prices for Untamed. The $1.28 is pretty cheap, and there's almost no volume there. So who cares what the price is if you're only selling one pack? But that's something to look out for. Especially if the Steam prices rise. Like I'm waiting for Steam to spike a little bit personally before I start like diving back into cards because I don't know. I'm not going to get into it. Can't talk about price predictions, but I'm waiting for a little bit of a price spike but that looks healthy. It looks like we're turning the corner. Who knows? We'll see. Markets are going to do what markets are going to do, and I'm not an expert. All right, so I think that's most of what I wanted to talk about. So the major things that are looking great are that is like this chart. This chart here is making me super excited, not just because of the uptrend, but this looks like we're going at a different and better rate. And we have some really nice things lined up in the next 2 weeks. So I'm pretty stoked for that. And we'll see what that does. And this is the tail end of the video, so I'll just remind people, we've said this publicly a couple times, we haven't made a big deal out of it, but like there should be some nice hardware integrations that are happening shortly. Not getting into too many details, everything isn't totally locked in, but some more super exciting, awesome news in the near future. All right, so that's what I wanted to talk about. That's where we're going with that. And It's been a little long, but hopefully you guys dig it. And those are my thoughts on the state of Splinterlands. Oh, and I guess I should say if there's one thing that's a little disconcerting, it's this, that for the last couple of weeks we've seen a downtrend in price, but um, man, we've done 6 months and we're seeing just a tiny pullback. I don't know. If this continues for another month, then yeah, I'd be upset, especially with the good news that we have coming. But we'll see what it does. This is just markets being markets, and uh, it's annoying, but it's not terrible. We're going to find out. We'll find out if it's terrible. But my guess, well, I'm not going to guess. I'm not supposed to guess. All right. Anyways, that's what I got for you guys today. Have a wonderful day. You're all lovely. Thank you for being part of this community, and hopefully seeing what one of the founders is kind of looking in the stats and data just provides you with another point of data for you to think about, how you want to interact with our game. All right. Thanks so much, guys. Have a great day.